Hey guys, welcome to the Movie Goers podcast. My name is Jordan. You can find me on all socials at JordyB Writing.
And I'm Darius. That's D's all up in the area on all socials.
And today we're going to be reviewing the movie Seven. This movie came out in 1994, starring Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow, Arlie Ernie, and John C. McGinley. Seven is about two detectives, a seasoned veteran and a hot-headed newcomer who are thrust into a series of grotesque murders. Each crime scene meticulously represents one of the seven deadly sins. As they delve deeper into the killer's twisted mind, they race against time to prevent him from completing his horrific tableau, leading to a chilling and unforgettable climax. So I'm gonna toss it to you for Act One.
Act one, we're going to call the sinful introduction. A jaded, soon to retire detective and his brash new partner are assigned to a series of bizarre and gruesome murders. They quickly realize the killings are meticulously themed around the seven deadly sins, setting a chilling and urgent tone for their investigation. For the audience, if they don't want to look it up, the seven deadly sins are pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. Sloth is not a verb, but here we are.
Yeah, I
Um,
was like, what does that mean?
um, Not
I
an
wanted to Google it,
adjective,
but I didn't want
not
to
a
be on some
verb.
watch list.
I think they should have gone with like slovenly or something like that.
Yeah.
But I did want to say that I saw this movie for the first time in IMAX like a couple months ago.
Mhm.
Regal did like a 25th anniversary, maybe 30. I think it was 30.
Yeah, it actually
30
came out in
year
95, so
anniversary.
I did
Yeah.
misspeak there.
Yeah, it was a 30-year anniversary, and they showed it in IMAX. And I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it was clearly filmed in 1995, just scaled up, but
Bigger.
great experience. So it was like I
Yeah,
like to see the old ones in the big screen the way they were intended. But I did want
I
to
feel
say
you.
off the drop, Detective Solves a Mystery movies are some of my favorite movies. So
Me too.
I love the linear nature of it. I love you can get in and get out. You don't have to watch 12 different backstories to get it. It's just a straightforward tell a story. So what you got for Act One?
Yeah, so for Act One, first, I don't know if you saw this or not or whatever, but Denzel Washington was actually asked to play the Brad Pitt role
Yeah.
and turned it down because he said the role felt dark and too dark and demonic. And then he was like, I saw the movie and I was like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah. There's
I
nothing
think he like
demonic
didn't
about it.
fully, yeah, I think he just like didn't fully get what the mess, not didn't fully get it, but like
Yeah.
I think he was like, oh, the seven deadly sins. He's like, I just thought it was about like
He just heard sin.
demons or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just started saying and was like, no, fuck this.
And you know, black people do not play about the devil.
They don't play about the devil. I think he thought like he probably thought the character was actually supposed to be the devil, maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah,
Also,
so I
given
thought that
his
was
fan
pretty
base,
interesting.
older black church ladies, he probably thought, he couldn't sell it.
They were not gonna
Yeah. So,
Yeah, my mom was not gonna go see this movie.
correct.
Not that she's an older
Oh,
black church lady, but you know.
fair enough.
Um
What you got?
I like that this movie starts like almost right away with the
Yep.
story. There's like no intro at all.
Nope.
He just wakes up and goes to work and there's a dead body on the floor.
It's
Um
very 90s and there's not a lot of like exposition. Like if this movie came
no.
out today, you would see Morgan Freeman's character like filling out his retirement pay.
The
Just something
retirement.
really super obvious and like calling,
Yeah,
it's just like things just happen. They don't tell you they're happening. And
correct.
it assumes a level, it assumes you're paying attention in a way that modern movies don't. Because we're probably
Yeah,
not.
true.
So
Because we're definitely doing this when
yes,
we're
pretty
watching the
much.
movie. Um
It's one of the reasons why I like to go to the movies because it forces you to lock in a way that watching on your couch, I just can't. So I
yeah.
do now. What is one of your, how do you watch, way off topic, but when you watch a movie for the pod, do you put your phone in like on the other side of the room or how do you do it?
Um, so it depends. I always watch them more often than not. If I haven't seen the movie before, I always watch them multiple times. At least watch them twice before we record. So for this one, because this was actually my first time seeing it from cover to cover, I did do some note taking a
Yeah.
little bit throughout, but I didn't want to stop pausing and so I just kind of took a couple notes throughout. So I have my phone on me because that way my notes transfer from my phone to my computer,
Okay.
so it's a little more convenient than handwriting. Um, but usually I watch it first and I'll just watch it no notes,
Yeah.
and then the second time I watch it, then I'll go back and do my notes. And then the third time I'll go over it and just make sure I didn't miss anything, or if I need to add some annotations to the original note so I didn't forget what I was talking about and when I first wrote it down. That's kind of my process for watching these movies.
So I watch it once. I put my phone in another room, and like that's why I have the handwritten notes, and I just have a
Yeah.
notepad, and just lock in. I don't even like. I will pause if I use bathroom or I want to
Hmm.
grab something. I'll pause it. I'm not that strict, but I like to not
Yeah.
pause because that's how the movies. You're supposed to sit down and let it go. You know,
Right.
you can't pause in the theater. So I try my best to simulate what it would be like to see it in the theater, even if it's never going
Yeah.
to be the same. So sorry to get
I
you off
feel you.
topic, but I had to
Oh
throw
no, you're
that in
good.
there.
So I do want to say, yeah, so they start off and he's basically at that first, it's not the first murder in the
Yeah,
seven, but it's the first murder in the movie.
yeah,
And he's like, did the kid see it? Because it was a husband killed by his wife.
yeah.
And the other cop was just like, why are you asking all these stupid fucking questions? It's like, I'm a detective. This is
Yeah.
kind of that's kind of the job. Why are you mad at me for asking a regular question about a murder?
Yeah. Also, like you're first on the scene, you're supposed to gather this information from,
Correct.
obviously it's a detective's job to investigate, but if you're first on the scene, it's okay to, help.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
what do you, you're not here just to put the yellow table
Help
up and
me.
watch the door. Like,
Yeah, I did like that detail though because it kind of showed just the level of callousness and apathy that had overcome this community in this movie
yeah.
that they kind of harp on throughout the course of the story. So they kind of let you know right away. This happens all the time. The cops don't really care as much as they're supposed to because they're so jaded and cynical. So I like that they showed that off the rip in the movie.
Um, so we get to the first scene.
Mhm.
It's a morbidly obese man, literally, um, they thought choked to death on some spaghetti.
Yeah.
Roaches in the apartment, lights are shut off.
Yep.
Filthy, filthy, filthy place. And
Disgusting.
that's gluttony.
Hmm.
And so the two detectives, we got the rookie and we got the old vet, movie trope.
Right.
And the rookie's trying to get this written off as just like, a fat guy had a heart attack. And the vet with the savviness is like, I think there's more to this. And
Yeah.
thus we get that's the real opening to the movie. So
Correct.
just the audience can follow
Um,
along.
yes, and I did also want to say, yeah, for the audience, yeah, this is not a movie you want to watch while you're eating dinner. I can confirm that because I watched this movie last night while I was eating dinner, and I had to stop
Yeah.
because
I mean, I'm not, maybe I'm just
I was eating
not.
heavy food.
I'm not squeamish in that way. Like, I mean, obviously that first scene with the roaches and the fat guy, that
Yeah,
was a bit much. But the
that's the
murders
worst
after
of it.
that, well, there's a lady does get a prostitute
Yeah,
does get killed in a pretty gruesome way.
mutilated
So
in the worst way possible.
fair enough.
Yeah. Also, I was eating pasta. It was very heavy. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I don't. But yeah. So I really, well, I do what I guess I was going to say this related to the movie, but I mean, it's evident throughout the course of the script. But I really love the chemistry with Brad and Morgan Freeman. You would not expect them to light up the screen as well as they did together.
Yeah.
Um, but it was perfect because it just was perfect the way they played off each other, the way their individual characters were written. Like I liked that. First, I thought when I first watched it, I thought that Morgan Freeman's character was better written than
Yeah.
Brad's was. But honestly, looking back on it now, it's like no, they had to write them differently
Yeah.
because one was more experienced and thus more worldly than the other, who's more hot-headed and little bit more idealistic,
Yeah.
and you have the youthful exuberance and youthful arrogance to him, but he wasn't like an asshole. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um,
And the chemistry worked because these are two supremely talented actors.
Correct.
And you don't really get these kind of movies anymore. We just got two great actors acting. It's an
Right.
actor's movie. There's not. I mean, obviously, it's plot driven in the sense that like it's unique and it's well written,
Hmm.
but you need two great leads to make this work, and they made it work.
Correct. Yeah, and that's what the weird part. So I was reading up on like reviews and stuff, and Brad Pitt's performance was like somewhat polarized in this movie. Like some people were saying that he was out of his depth and that they should have cast somebody else, which I thought was really weird because, well, one, he was really young in this movie.
Yeah,
This was probably his fourth or fifth major role
yeah,
after Thelma and Louise. So like, I mean, let's give guy some slack. But also, I thought he did a great job of um, being someone that you could root for while also being like, dude, stop doing stupid shit.
yeah.
Which is a very hard balance to strike in a two-hander like this.
Yeah, I agree. It's just look, I mean, I don't think it's crazy to say that he was lagging a little bit. He was young.
Hmm.
He's not as polished as, Inglorious Bastards Brad, but
Right.
um you got to start somewhere. And this is
Yeah.
a pretty meaty role for a guy fresh off the porch. And
Literally, yeah.
he held it on. He held his own. He didn't have
With Morgan Freeman of all people.
with Morgan Freeman of all people. Well, I mean, fresh off of Shawshank, Morgan Freeman.
Yep.
This is a damn near Oscar level actor, and
Literally.
he wasn't scared. I was gonna say scared. Jesus. He wasn't like
Right there, right there.
like a mystical. He wasn't scared. He wasn't afraid to say the right word,
Yeah.
actually. And so they
Um,
get over to they think it's a spontaneous weird murder.
right.
Then the huge popular public defender is murdered in a high-end hotel, which I think that was greed because he's
Yes.
getting criminals off for money, and that's when they're
Hmm.
like, you know, that's two of the seven
This is a
deadly sins.
trend.
Something This is a trend. This is weird. I
Yeah.
think we got something here, and thus the crime spree begins.
The plot ensues.
Yeah,
Yes. Um, and then even with the greed, they didn't catch it at first because remember the Morgan Freeman had to go back to the other apartment to remember the cop came up to him and he had that vial of the
yeah.
plastics saying that basically he was not poisoned, he was killed.
We had to move the
Um,
fridge around and see gluttony,
yep. Hmm.
which weird. Why would you hide that word if you're hoping to, you know, get
Correct. Yeah, I
to
thought that
get
was a little weird.
followers?
Yeah,
But, you know, it's a movie. You have anything else for Act One?
true. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I had for Act One. I think there's only two murders in the first act, right?
Correct. We're going to get into Act Two called The Deepening Obsession. As the body count rises, the detectives become increasingly engrossed in the killer's meticulous and deranged mind. The hunt intensifies, revealing the killer's elaborate methods and forcing the seasoned detective to confront his own philosophy on good and evil. Since we're in the thick of these murders, let me ask you, which deadly sin murder was the most gruesome to you?
Um, that's tough because the those last two were motherfuckers.
Yeah,
The Lady of the Night being mutilated with the whatever the fuck that
I think it
was.
was a chainsaw. It was bizarre.
Yeah, it's like a sex toy with a knife at the edge or some shit. That shit was crazy. And then keeping the guy for alive for a year
Yeah,
as like a White Walker, that was
yeah,
nuts.
pretty much. So yeah, the next murder is a drug dealing. I don't. I think he
I
actually
think he
was a
was a
pedophile.
pedophile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was which sin was that?
Sloth.
Sloth. Weird
Hmm.
word. And he just kind
Yeah,
of I
I
don't even
don't
know how
know.
that tied in. But anyways, he chains him to a
Right.
bed and starves him to death for a year, basically.
Yeah.
And so no one, obviously, no one was like sympathetic or that this guy was like. I think even the fucking coroner is
He was,
like,
yeah, the cop was like, "You're going to hell."
yeah. And then the coroner is like, they ask him, is he going to survive? And he's like, nah, this guy died a gruesome, torturous death. And believe it or not, it's going to get worse after because like he's going to hell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So no sympathy for Mr. Sloth.
Yeah.
And what else you got for Act Two?
Um, oh yeah, so the I think honestly one of the worst, most I don't know the word, just like horrible things in this movie that happened is just a line that was said by Morgan Freeman where he said when women are being attacked, they're told we tell them not to yell help because people won't come to them. We tell them to yell fire because everyone goes to see where the fire is.
Yeah.
And I thought that was about the most depressing thing I've ever
Yeah.
heard about society.
I think this is a jaded old detective who's probably seen the
Yeah,
worst of humanity. I like to think that if
right.
we're in downtown Raleigh and we see some woman being attacked yelling help, we most people would be like, okay, what's going like at least go check out what's happening.
Yeah,
So this is a police officer with one foot out the door for retirement who is
correct.
fed the fuck up. Also, he's a homicide detective, so literally all he sees are murders all day.
All he sees is death. Yeah,
Yeah, his every day is he's seeing people at their absolute worst.
yeah,
Most people aren't going to have a
that's
worse
true.
day than when someone they love got murdered. So,
True. And also
yeah.
talk about just the worst last week of work ever.
Yeah.
Because like, if your last day of work, you get like a 50-page case you got to work on. You're like,
Yeah.
what? And he just got the worst line of cases ever.
He better than me because I'd have been like, How
Quit. I
much
quit.
PTO I got?
Right.
I've already got enough for my pension. You
Yep.
supposed to put me in a desk and shuffling papers my last week. You got me
Yeah, bro. I'm
chasing
supposed
this
to be
fucking
doing the
voodoo
traffic
killer.
beat.
Yeah. Fuck wrong with you?
I can't be walking kids to school. What
Yeah.
what what are we doing here? Yeah, so in that sense I totally get why Morgan Freeman's character, Somerset in the movie, was as jaded as he was. Um
So, little moment of levity in the movie. Dinner time. They invite him
mhm.
over. They bought an
Yeah.
apartment sight unseen. I've traveled. I moved across the country twice. I've bought an apartment sight unseen. I've gotten quite lucky actually. Nothing's been weird about
Okay.
them. But there's like a train, and that motherfucker like it
The
literally shakes the whole
subway.
subway. Yeah, it literally shakes
Yeah.
the whole living room, and it was just a great scene where Morgan's trying to hold back his laugh, and he chuckles, and then the wife is just like, "This is our lot," and she just
Yeah,
laughs.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, and it just it was great acting. The three great actors just having
Yeah,
just putting together a really great scene, a moment of levity in a really dark
correct.
movie. So.
Yeah, no, I'm about to say there's like four laughs in this movie.
No, even the fun. I mean, it
Um,
just rains the whole movie too. It just ain't no
Yo, bro, that's
sunlight or
all. That's a
nothing.
good point too. This had to have been the most miserable movie to shoot ever.
Yeah,
It rained every day.
yeah,
You're in these dirty ass, dingy apartments.
yeah,
Every set piece is disgusting. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so you remember the scene where Tracy, Brad Pitt's wife, calls Morgan Freeman
yeah.
to have a meeting with him at the restaurant?
Which, by the way,
Um,
really, really, that's a violation. Um,
so inappropriate on every
that's a
level.
violation. You do
On every
not
level.
meet another man's wife for lunch behind his back,
After
unless
she calls you
like
late at night while he's in the shower.
major violations going on. The only
Yeah.
time that's acceptable is like
If that's your best friend or and she's like a surprise party, I guess. I don't know.
surprise party. Okay, I'm trying to buy him some shoes for his birthday. What is he actually like? Or like you got to go
Yeah.
to her best friend to help you buy an engagement ring. That's usually the life hack there.
Yeah.
Um, but you don't. First of all, you don't. Not only is it we ain't even friends. This nigga's my coworker. Like we
They just met.
we just met,
We
and
met
you
this
telling
week.
him that you're
Literally.
pregnant before you tell me what is going on
That's
here?
crazy.
Like, major
Oh, not only
violation.
that you're pregnant, but you're also going to think about terminating. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you should talk about your husband. Talk about that with your husband.
You
I don't
know,
know.
I just sitting there like, yo, this he violating like crazy.
He did, and he told her if you do abort it, don't tell him. What? Yeah, that was crazy.
Nah, that the OG was
'Cause
fucking up there. That ain't cool
yeah,
at all. I can't
and,
get
and
behind that at
honestly,
all.
yeah, man. And honestly, I thought when she called him, I was like,
Yeah, the
"What is
first time
she?"
I thought it, I was like,
I
this
was
movie's
like,
about to get
"Wait."
stupid. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I was like, "Yo, is
Gotta
she?"
throw in a
I
sex
thought,
scene. Yeah, I thought the
yeah,
same thing too. I was like, this movie is going well. Don't do stupid shit.
I
They
was
could
like,
have cut
"Please don't
that. It
have
was
her
still
fuck Morgan
stupid
Freeman."
shit, but it wasn't just ruin the movie stupid shit.
Yeah, man, I did not want to see Gwyneth Paltrow Morgan Freeman sex scene. So
Uh,
thank God that they did not do that.
it just
Um,
would have been so dumb. Like
Cheap.
just
Yeah, it would have been cheap and pointless.
like
They would have
just a
turned it into
cheap way
True
to show some
Detective.
tits, and that would have
Yeah,
been all right. Like, listen, let's
yeah.
be adults here.
I'm glad they didn't do that for sure. Um, oh, also, so the restaurant that they're in that scene, that's the same restaurant they used for the opening scene in Training Day with Ethan Hawke and Denzel.
There you go. All right,
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty
little fun
cool.
fact of the day.
Shout out to IMDb.
Yeah.
Um, there's a scene where they're in the police station and they're just like shooting the shit about the case. And Brad Pitt's character's like, yo, this dude's just crazy. He's insane. He's probably like in his apartment masturbating with peanut butter or whatever, you
Yeah.
know. And Morgan Freeman's like, no, I don't think he's insane. He kind of breaks down the profile of the murderer, and which he was valuable to like the audience and also just a really cool like dialogue. But is it just weird? Did it seem like he like had some like a little bit of admiration for him when he talked about like the focus and attention to detail to like follow through with all those murders, or was that just me?
Yeah, I think admiration isn't the right word. I just thought it was just kind of
Yeah.
like I like the challenge. It's like a tough
Mm,
math problem. You almost respect the fact that it's making you work.
yeah.
You just want to solve it so bad and you respect the
Hmm.
difficulty of it, but I wouldn't call it
Okay.
admiration. But I mean, look, to pull all of this off, you can't be a
Requires
dumb person to
intelligence.
pull all this off. You know, like
Right.
you have to have
Yeah.
some level of, detail, attention to detail, and intellect to even
Hmm.
hatch up these plans, much less pull them off with this level of precision. So,
True.
um, you know, some smart people do terrible things all the time, and this is kind of one of those cases.
That is accurate. Um, Also, I will say I really like the chase scene in this movie.
Yeah, one of the
One
few that didn't
because
feel like it was forever.
yes, it wasn't a 10-minute chase scene.
Yeah,
Um, they were and also I think about like difference between like movies back then and movies now is they actually were physically outside. They weren't in a studio with green screen
yeah,
everywhere, running on a treadmill and shit.
hair perfect.
Um,
Just every scene is there's weird cuts so you can don't see the stuntman, and yeah,
right. Yeah. And actually, so I want to shout out Brad Pitt because I read something that said that he actually worked with David Fincher to like coordinate that scene where his character is always like stopping and pausing and looking around the recording and he like looks scared, which I thought was really good detail because he was like, a lot of movies in these chase scenes, it's like the chaser knows where the guy is going, and
yeah,
if you're chasing someone in real life, you don't know where they're going and you don't know
right.
where they're coming from or if they're going to shoot you. So I like that they put that detail in the scene.
The details of like the photographer being the killer in the end. That was, and then
Yep.
finding, his they finding out at his apartment and them,
Hmm.
I honestly, so when he kicked in the door, Morgan Freeman was like, "We don't have probable cause." And I'm pretty sure they did at that
I shot at you. What do
point.
we mean? What do you mean?
I mean, look, obviously you should get a warrant if you need one, but I think they were fine there.
Yeah, I think the gunfire I feel like was enough of a leeway.
You would think. And so they get into his
Um,
place and they find a million books. And
yes.
I'm losing my train of thought. How do they get the next lead from this apartment?
Um, they saw the photos that showed that he was the guy posing as the cameraman. There was
Oh, the library. Checked out the book.
yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Okay,
Yep,
gotcha.
yep, that's what it was. Yeah. Because you have to have a name and DOB on file for an address for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Now that's illegal, but they
yeah,
addressed that
that
in the
was
movie.
illegal.
Yeah.
Um, what else did they find in the apartment? I mean, obviously he called them to taunt them further.
Yeah.
Um, there was something else they found in the apartment. I can't remember what it was. Oh, that's what they found the sheet with the address for the leopard leather
Okay.
shop. Which
Which
brings us to Act Three.
Act three, we're gonna call it the unsettling confrontation. The investigation escalates to a fever pitch as the killer begins to directly engage with the detectives. The pursuit culminates in a tense and psychologically charged confrontation, pushing all involved to their absolute limits and revealing the terrifying extent of the killer's plan. This is where we meet John Doe, who was an
Hmm.
uncredited Kevin Spacey. We meet him in this act. And yeah,
Hmm.
so haha, surprise. Kevin Spacey is the big reveal. That's the second movie he did a big reveal, right? Because
Yep,
in
Kaiser Soze,
Kaiser Soze.
uh,
So
Usual Suspects.
yeah, there we go. So
Um,
he's good at the big reveal movies.
yeah, it turned out to be art imitating life on that one.
Yeah,
Him being a
fair
piece of
enough.
shit.
Yeah.
So we do want to get that on the record. Um, but he was in a lot of great movies. Let's see here. So, oh yeah, so actually, so did you know that the he also was in that scene where they're in the leather shop?
I did not know that. No.
So where he says the cashier, whatever, he says, yeah, a guy with a limp was in here, asked me to make this for him. And if you watch it back again, you can see a guy walking, limping past with an umbrella, and he's like standing by the door and walks away as soon as they walk out to go find the girl.
Interesting. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, so he basically was stalking them the whole time.
He's the OG incel, right? Because he did all of this because he was mad
Correct.
at the world. He couldn't get laid. Da 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 da.
Right.
So,
Yeah, he really was.
what else you got for Act Three?
Um, so they go down to that sex shop or sex house, dungeon,
Yeah.
whatever, and they find the girl completely mutilated and the guy who's been strapped to that machine that he
Yeah.
made her do the stuff to.
And that
Um,
one was what? Lust?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
lust.
Lust.
Yeah. Um, and then they take him to the police station, And I want to say that that shot of the interrogation rooms, like back to back to back, with like the black surrounding them and everything, I thought that shot was absolutely incredible. One of the better shots in the movie, just as a cinematography nerd, I thought that was really dope. Um, Also, just the acting was incredible of both the shop owner, because he's like, yeah, I have to do this. I don't want to do this shit, but people got bills.
Right.
And then the poor victim guy who's like, look, I didn't want to do this. He made me do it. The gun was in my mouth. Can you please get the shit off of me? You
Yeah.
know, yeah, that was a gross scene. Um,
And so they're doing
um,
the thing, and then the John Doe shows up at the police station, right?
yes,
All
yeah.
right, and who reveals himself to be Kevin Spacey, who cut off his fingerprints,
Hmm.
and his lawyer shows up, and he's like, "Well, no, how we got the prostitute die, or the 1990s OnlyFans model? How did she get involved? She died too."
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Lust, though that
The model, the
was
model, the model. It
Pride.
was Pride.
Pride.
Pride was the model.
He cut up
He cut
something,
off
and
her
she had to,
nose to he cut off her nose to spite her face,
and then
and he
she
said,
took suicide instead, right?
"Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, you could live if you're willing to be ugly," and she did not want to be ugly.
Pride's a motherfucker.
Yeah. Also, who wants to walk around without a nose if they can have that option? I feel like that's pretty normal.
I mean, if the
Happenstance.
alternative is death,
But
I'm gonna take the noseless
well, if
life.
she's a model, I mean,
Death is
um,
permanent, man. Like,
so is unemployment. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, I mean, no, not really. Further, I mean, if she'd still be around today, they could get her a new nose. We fixed that. Plastic
Yeah,
surgery, baby.
true. Yeah, maybe it wasn't as good back then, I'm
Yeah. So
assuming.
that's five.
Um,
That's right. We got him
yep.
five, and the only thing we have left is envy and wrath,
And
which we'll
Wrath.
get to
Yep.
soon. So Kevin Spacey's character reveals himself during the police interrogation. He's like, "I want. I'll tell you something about like where the bodies are."
We're the other two. Yeah.
Yeah, and they get in the car, they drive. I thought this scene was a little bad. This is when they say Brad Pitt. It's kind of not the
Yeah,
sharpest.
that
The
okay,
scene in
that
the
scene.
car, I was like, all right, this is
You're playing into his hands.
yeah, a little rough.
Yeah.
And the well, before I, tell people what happened, you have anything else for Act Three?
Um oh yeah, so I do yeah, so I did want to say one of my favorite scenes in the movie is the bar scene with Morgan and Brad,
Yeah,
where they're just kind of like having combative philosophies or ideologies on like life and the world, where Brad's saying, um I care, so like it affects me.
right,
Whereas Morgan's basically saying like I can't afford to care in order to do the job, but you did the job because you initially cared.
right,
So I like that conversation there, and also when they talked about basically about coping versus healing and or addiction, the kind of trifecta between the three. So I wrote down that self-soothing when gone unchecked can become self-harm, and that's I feel like this movie really encapsulated that with the seven deadly sins.
yeah,
Like let's say like lust. The girl probably couldn't pay her bills, so she became a sex worker. The gluttony guy was probably sad and depressed, so he was eating his feelings. And the girl was pretty and she made money off that, so that she became prideful, so on and so
right.
forth. So I like the way that that conversation illuminated the killer's point in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I always say that like, there was this little trend of like self-care.
Hmm.
And obviously it's important, but people will self-care themselves into spiraling
Yeah,
because you discipline is good and you can't always do what feels good.
yeah,
And quickly that can become a crutch that where you've self-cared yourself into toxic behaviors. So
yeah.
that is
That's very
true.
true.
And so they
And
get
also,
hit.
discipline is part of self-care.
Well, some people don't believe in that. They think self-care is just never denying yourself any indulgence.
Anything that you want to
Right. Just
do.
believe. I mean, I know some people like that. So they get in the car. They drive to the middle of nowhere. I'll spare the people the details, but it's revealed that Kevin Spacey's character is actually envy. He envies Brad Pitt's life. And then we find out. that Kevin Spacey's character murdered Brad Pitt's wife. He delivers a box with her head in it to
Hmm.
the final scene, which is the iconic scene where we find out if Brad Pitt gives in to wrath, and he does. He kills John Doe right there, and we have our
Yeah.
seven deadly sins. So, would you have shot him?
Hell yeah. I wrote,
Yeah, I
so I
don't think
wrote in my note. First of
it.
all, I'm not big on this philosophy anyway. Fuck the high road, okay?
Yeah.
You killed my wife. You're dead. Yes, I'm gonna kill you. Only difference is I wouldn't have shot him in the head first because I would have wanted him to feel more pain.
Well,
So,
so I mean, he has a decent legal defense shooting him in the head because it is an act of
uh,
rage,
true.
um, and it's actually not legal to kill people that make you mad. So torturing him would have undercredited his defense. But honestly, I think his
Yeah,
criminal
true.
defense.
Would have been
Honestly,
insanity
he's a
or
cop. They weren't
grief.
going to charge him anywhere. But to the extent that he would have needed a criminal defense, what he did was probably just true. He was overcome with rage and he couldn't help himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I don't know a man alive who, when handed a box with his wife's head in it,
It's gonna have restraint.
was gonna be like, like cooler heads should prevail right here. I don't think
Be
that's a
like, you know what?
reasonable
I'm gonna be
expectation.
the better person. Get the fuck out of here.
No, not at all. So, what do you rate it, man?
I really love this movie, and it actually has great rewatch value considering the subject matter. So I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars.
I'm going five, man. I love this movie. Yeah, I'm stingy with the fives, but I wouldn't cut anything from this movie. I thought it was
Yeah,
great. It's tight 2 hours. I thought it's
it's
creative,
a fast 2 hours too.
fast. It's creative, good pace, great acting. There's nothing I would change about it. And this is why I think movies like this are why we do the pod. It's filmmaking. It's
Yes.
great,
Yeah.
and
Also, shout out David Fincher, one of the best to ever
yeah,
do it.
you know. All right, thanks for listening. My name is Darius. That's D's all up in your area on all socials.
And I'm Jordan. Jordan be writing on all socials.
Please rate, like, subscribe. We're Moviegoers Pod on all socials. That is Moviegoers PD on Twitter. That is PD on Twitter.
And for any ongoing movie recommendations, reach out to us via email at moviegoerspod@gmail.com. That's moviegoerspod@gmail.com. That's a wrap. Thanks for coming to the movies with us. Tune in next week. We'll be back reviewing The F Word.
All right, y'all.
Y'all take care.